Hello, and welcome to Enneagram 5 Live.
Hello, everybody.
All right, we're back. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
It has. The last time we were doing this, I hadn't moved into the void.
It looks like you were always in the void, but just not physically.
Not visually. I didn't have a visual representation, but now I do. Until I figure out what to do back here, I'm going to have to figure that out. But yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, one thing a little bit of housekeeping we need to do real quick is letting everybody know that this is the last episode we're doing for the rest of the year. So having a little live episode to celebrate 2025, and then we're taking some time off, and we'll be back after the holidays.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, so we're going to run through some segments here. We do these live. If this is the first live episode you listen to, we do these a little bit different than the typical episode. And so we're going to do a red, yellow, green check-in and just catching up kind of how we're doing this week. We're going to talk about current curiosities. And so what interesting rabbit holes have we been going down? And then we're going to talk about whether or not fives hate the holidays. So that'll be fun. And then I've got multiple would you rathers this time, which will be nice. There's some good ones in there. Then we're going to do our growth versus comfort segment, just talking about where we've kind of chosen growth and where we haven't recently. And then a bonus one that I just sprung on here that Cody doesn't know about. So
I didn't know about any of these, so this is not surprising.
Okay. Great. There you go. Because Cody doesn't read any of my emails, apparently. So we're just going to talk about 2025 versus 2026. So what do we feel like were the highlights? What do we want to take into next year, and what do we want to leave behind? All right. So let's get started here. Red, yellow, green. How you doing, Cody?
I am going to say I think I'm yellow. Okay. Right now. Holidays can be stressful. And this year we've got a bunch of things that it's not my business to talk about that's going on, and just, silly things, family things. And then, I've got, my parents are in town right now. It's the first time they've been back since they moved to Florida. And they're staying with us in our new house, and that's always fun with 3 dogs. So now I have 5 dogs in the house with us right now.
Jeez.
So that's a lot. And then outside of that, just, work. Being in the alcohol industry during the holidays is not ideal for the salesperson that has to deal with it, because it like how customers treat restaurant staff is they pass that on to us. So that energy gets passed on to me a lot every single day. And everybody's on DEFCON 1, everything's going to end if I don't get this one case of tequila or whatever. And so it's always this whole thing. But yeah, it's just I'm just running. I'm being pulled in many different directions and doing different things. I just recently took a job doing a voiceover for a documentary. So
cool.
That's something that I did not need to put any more irons in the fire, but I couldn't say no to it. So, it's that's what I will be doing after this. Actually, I'll be recording scripts.
Nice. Is it the documentary that I'm aware of?
Yes.
It's okay. Well,
yes, it is.
Secret documentary.
Secret documentary, not out yet. But
we just can't share it.
Can't share it. Whenever it is out, I'll let everybody know, though.
Yes, it's very local to where we live. So
it is, but it will be shown regionally and then maybe nationally. Yeah. So it's a whole thing. But yeah, so just, I feel like it's one of those, it's that time of year where it's like a lot of irons in the fire. I'm very much looking forward to the break. Not that I don't love releasing episodes and whatever. I'm going to try my hardest, though. I've decided that over the break, I'm going to try really hard to be more involved in the community, because I feel like I'm really bad at it otherwise. And so Want to stay in touch with everybody in our little of what is it, like a 4-week break, probably 4 or 5 week break.
Yeah, there we go.
Short little thing.
Speaking of, if you're watching right now, just drop a comment here in the chat and say hello. And also, if you want to join us in the red, yellow, green, you can drop the color in of how you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do that.
I'm squinting really hard because I
know you're like having a hard time right now.
All this on this tiny little screen. Okay. All right. Well, I will go while people are dropping some comments in. So I'm green. Yeah.
Nice.
I think I was feeling a little, the last couple of weeks were a little kind of red yellow mix, and just trying to push to get a bunch of stuff done so I could actually take some time off for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, which was great. And so I took Thursday through Sunday off and just kind of relaxed. We hung out with family, went up and saw my family, which was really nice and chill. And
that's always
we
good.
had a good time. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, driving up there and back outside Nashville from Chattanooga.
On a holiday weekend.
Yeah, on a holiday weekend. Oh, and coming back, it was some crazy fog on top of Mount Eagle, and it was like the traffic was terrible. Everyone turned into an asshole driver. So that part of it I did not like. I probably also turned into an asshole driver, which
somebody somewhere complaining about you.
Yeah, I'm sure. And but it was nice because I was very intentional going into the weekend to just focus on connecting and not trying to have any like objectives on things we need to get done or certain things we got to do, but just spending time and talking and just connecting. And I think that helped a lot in terms of energy levels for me during the weekend. And so I felt, aside from the traffic stuff, like I felt recharged coming out of the weekend, which was really good. And now I'm in Fully 5. We're kind of in between they've done the first 2 pathways, and the next one's going to come out in January. And so I'm also now getting to focus on marketing stuff, like all my focus on marketing stuff and getting clips of the podcast done and getting all that stuff set up again. So we got more content coming in short form. And so that's nice because that's something that's been like on my plate, and I know that I need to get caught up on that stuff, but I just didn't have, like, I wanted to make sure I'm focusing on where people were serving in Fully 5. And so I'm just, I kind of put that on the back burner. But now I can focus on it for the next month, and I'm excited about that. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. I think we have the ability to show the comments. Oh, that's way too small. Can we do tall?
Oh, that's
wide?
cool.
Yeah, this is a new feature. You can actually show the comments, but now I can't read them because they're so small.
They finally caught up to Twitch.
There we go.
Only like 10 years too late.
Oh my gosh. I cannot read that.
You can't?
Maybe you can read them. You read them.
I can read it really easily. Hello, LeBron. Is that LeBron? Please tell me that's how you spell LeBron. That's great. Ether. Ola Green. Oh, you're green. Oh, almost missed the live because she was researching. She. I'm not sure what it is. I can't see that far. They were researching, and that's a really good reason to miss a 5 thing is by being a 5. Hello, I think orange for me. Orange. Okay. All right.
So like a red trending yellow, maybe,
or maybe a yellow trending red. You're a glass half full kind of guy.
Because I'm green. I'm feeling very optimistic.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you're the opposite side of me. I'm like, maybe they're going red.
Yeah. All right. So current curiosities. I know I'm kind of, since you didn't read the topics we were doing.
Oh no, I'm ready.
What? Oh, you're ready. Okay, great.
I assumed we've been doing this one every episode that we do.
Right,
live,
that's
so
true.
I was ready
that's
for
true.
it. Yeah.
Okay, well then you go, and anyone in the comments, they can drop what rabbit holes you've been going down recently, and then
Yes, please do.
I will think of mine while you're talking.
So you knew ahead of time, but you didn't think of anything.
Correct.
Okay. Just want to point that out. So I have been researching frequencies that in regards to how you can receive signal for in-ear monitors.
Okay.
My in-ear monitors stopped working at a gig a few weeks ago, and they cut out a lot throughout the whole set. And they're not expensive. I knew that there was a difference between the expensive ones that are more reliable and the ones that are cheaper that you might have some issues with. What I didn't know was that the cheaper ones are on 2.4 gigahertz, which is what apparently everything is on. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all radio signals in the city. And I'm out here playing on a rooftop bar in the middle of Chattanooga for 3 hours. And it happened on that gig that I did on my birthday last Saturday that somewhere in the middle, it just cut out and then just shut off. So then I was deaf, singing with earplugs in my ears. And I had to wait for a good moment, and I like hit a chord or whatever, and I reached back and just tried to hold the button and turn it on really fast. And luckily it came back on. But that's when I was like, this isn't going to happen again. I got to have some kind of process where I'm going to get something else. And so I've been trying to figure out like best bang for your buck, and like went down a whole rabbit hole of like, okay, now I know that the issue is the frequencies. So then you can put that in the search and find different answers and different things. So that's what comes to mind. I don't know. It's not very exciting, but I've literally spent like an entire day yesterday just like reading about things and what devices are on which things and how you can even. Did you know that you can get any type of like a radio thing, and it can be like an A band or a B band all the way to Z, and that different states are certified for different bands. So like Tennessee is an A band state, so you're free to do A band. It's safe to not be on any like emergency frequencies and all of that stuff, and it won't interfere with anything, I guess.
I did not know that.
Go to a different state, it might be Z band, but it seems to be A or B is what most people use. So it's interesting. So yeah, there's your fun fact out of my curiosity. Yeah.
I'm gonna swap us so that it looks more like you're looking at me.
I know I'm usually looking at this screen, but then I'm over here today. I don't know. Eventually, I'll maybe have what you have in your fancy little projector that has not projector, but teleprompter.
The prompter, yeah. Then you won't be able to read the comments either.
That's true. Well, I could have them on a separate screen. Surely you have other screens.
You can't pop them out, I don't think. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, Twitch did that forever ago. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have gone down some YouTube rabbit holes about basically, I don't know why, but it's fixing up like 90s era cars and trucks. And it was, it was one of those things where I was eating lunch one day and a video popped up on YouTube that looked interesting. And it was about, like basically swapping out the engine on a Volkswagen GTI, I think, or like a 90s.
Hell yeah,
one.
That's my car.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
I sent that to you. You didn't watch it.
Where did you send it to? On YouTube?
I
add it to that queue that I never. Oh, okay. We also have a queue that you add videos to that I never watch, and I want to.
Right.
Okay, well I'll have to watch it.
Once they once I watched one, then my whole feed was just videos like that. And I don't know why, but I cannot stop watching them. And the one that I was watching recently, this guy, he's from Detroit, and he basically bought this giant warehouse in Detroit and is starting his own car company. But it's really hard to do if you try to do it the regular way. But you can, the way around it that they're kind of like crowdsourcing is to essentially like create kit cars where it's like the car is like 99% together, and then you have to just like connect some things, and then somehow that makes it there's some like weird loophole around a lot of the regulation. But what he's doing right now is he went and found a Tesla Model 3, I think, and that was wrecked. and pulled the motors and the wheels, like the axes, the two axes. You can tell how much I know about cars. But pulled all of that out and is putting it in one of those Japanese K trucks. And so those little those tiny little trucks.
Yeah. There's there's a whole company that's doing those tiny little trucks, but they're electric. Anyway, sorry, I'm sidetracking, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's putting Tesla motors in it, which are going to be insane. And it's because those things are small and light.
Wait, we might be talking about the same thing.
Maybe we are. I don't know. But
okay.
So I was watching one of those today. Watching him pull out all this stuff from a Tesla and try to figure out. They had to 3D scan the entire K truck in order to and the pieces from the Tesla in order to see if they could figure out how to get them to fit in their 3D modeling before they before they did it. Yeah, it was crazy.
That is really crazy. My buddy Logan sends me Instagram messages all the time in DMs of new companies that he finds that are weird little cars or trucks that are electric and super affordable, starting at $20,000. And so, and one of them it's a really small truck with that short bed, and you can do anything you want on the back of it. It can be an SUV, it can be a truck with a short bed, or it can be I can't remember what else it was. There's 3 or 4 different versions you can get, and basically customize the whole thing, and it's still $20,000, which is crazy. And they go
nice.
300 miles. So I feel like it's the same. It's got to be the same company, surely. But there's probably a lot of people trying to jump on that bandwagon right now.
You're gonna have to drop the link in the community. That's something you can do to engage with the community. Drop the link.
Drop links. Yeah, maybe.
Oh. All right. We talked about current curiosities. Up next is myth busting. I don't know how much of a myth this is, but
okay.
Do fives hate the holidays?
I thought about this a lot when I saw the title as you scheduled it, and that's where I knew we were going to talk about this at some point. That I thought about this. I've gone back and forth because it kind of falls into the myth category because it can go. For me, it can go either way. It depends on the time. People could easily assume that I don't like the holidays, but there's actually a pretty big part of me that really does love the holidays, and I love kind of the busyness. Everything that's making me yellow right now is also things that I kind of look forward to when it's not here. And so kind of going back and bringing that into this a little bit, I said yellow, but I really am not. I'm not yellow. I'm yellow because of stress and the weight of what I feel going on right now, not necessarily because I'm not enjoying doing it, if that makes sense. And so I think that in that regard, one of my favorite holiday memories is one where, and I've probably talked about this at some point in an episode about working at Starbucks with all the drinks lined up.
Right, yeah.
If you think about that being one of my most cherished holiday memories, that's a really strange thing to think back to, I think. And so, I think that sometimes, and I think back to when I used to love going to my granny's house, and there'd be it felt 100 people in there, and everybody's opening up presents. There's a bunch of family I only saw on this day every year, and probably all dead now. I don't even know who they were. I still don't know who they were. Maybe they weren't even famous. Maybe I wasn't related to them. But I don't. But then I think about so there's different aspects of it for me. There's the part where it's I do enjoy the festivities. I enjoy the festiveness of it. My buddies that I get invited every year to this Christmas tiki party that's happening next Saturday, which I'm actually gonna miss most of it this time because I'm working a gig. But I look forward to it every single year, and it's so fun. And some of those people I only see at this party, some of them, and it's always so fun, and I always leave feeling very happy that I went, and it's always a really great experience. So and I love getting together with people and having a reason to get together. I mean, maybe that's part of what I like about it is the expectations are all set for what everybody's going to be experiencing during the holidays. And so that is a huge part of it for me. And I'm big on family things. So and the older I get, the more I enjoy family gatherings generally, depending on who is present. And so that that part of it is actually great for me. But the flip side of it is I hate the gift giving portion, as we have talked about, I think, in the very first episode of this show ever. And so I definitely don't like being put on the spot. Don't like everybody looking at me. This happened just the other day when Madison and her parents were giving me presents for my birthday, and I opened things, and my very honest and unfiltered reaction came out before I could mask it. And so it was this whole thing where I like she got me, she knows I love these bottles, these stupid little Owala bottles. The baby, I call it my my comfort water, my comfort bottle. Like, you know, it's my security bottle, my security bottle, like a blanket. And but I have this whole thing where I realized that they build like mildew and mold in them everywhere. Like, you really have to keep them clean. And I realized that, oh my God, what have I been doing to myself? Like, I don't even know. And so then I went down that whole rabbit hole and like lost my mind and found that there's like special little tools you can buy on Amazon that like go into these little crevices and are made for these bottles. And so I was like, and there's like $7. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. But what I did vow to myself was that I would, and I said this to Madison, I will never buy another black one because I can't see the mold. I don't know if it's dirty or not. I don't know if how dirty. What if I missed a spot, you know? I started getting really upset about it. And so, but she knew I wanted more like big ones. Like this one's like I don't even know, 32 ounces at least. And I really like these really big ones. And so she got me one for my birthday, but it was black. So I opened it and I was like, oh, wow, this is great, but it's black. And she was like, yeah, you said you like black. And I was like, no, I didn't. And so then it was like that awkward moment where everybody's like, do you like it though? You know, and I'm just like, no, I love it. I'm really happy about it. We're going to have to trade it though. You know? And so it's like, that's the perfect example of like, I feel like an asshole and it makes me hate any of those situations.
Right.
I don't want any of that. And so, you know, like that part is exhausting to me, and the whole like, and sometimes you have to be around people that, you know, family members or whatever that like maybe you're less a bit of a fan of. I don't know. It's just a lot of like, there's a lot of managing dynamics and all of that, which I don't like doing either, and feeling like I'm in the middle of that, especially like between two families. And yeah, it's all of that comes around, and I kind of hate it and want to jump out of my skin and run away forever and never come back. And so like, there's always that part of it that's always kind of grating on me after a while. And I do feel that like by the time January comes around, I'm like, glad I don't have to do that again for a while, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, totally.
So I don't know. I go both ways. Like maybe like all things, because we're all human, that, you know, I feel like any Enneagram myths are dangerous, or like stereotypes are a dangerous game to play. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at with this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. When I was a kid, I loved the holidays because my grandma would make these homemade mashed potatoes and just all this food. I just remember all this food all the time. Yep. And we didn't spend a lot of time together as a family. Like, we didn't do, you know, like a nuclear family. Like, we didn't have really any like traditions. We didn't celebrate much. My dad, you know, shortly after I was born, started becoming convinced that, you know, all the holidays were pagan and we weren't going to celebrate any of that stuff as God-fearing Christians. And so
that's true.
We didn't celebrate.
Yeah.
We didn't celebrate a lot of stuff. And, but I always enjoyed going over to my grandparents' house, and, you know, I would lay under the tree and just look up at all the lights. I would lay there for hours, just daydreaming and thinking about stuff and looking at the lights. So I enjoyed that, but you know, as I got older, like teenage years, you know, we didn't go back to see my grandparents because we moved away when I was 7, and I just kind of, I don't know, it just always seemed like a hassle. Like, there's just always stuff that you had to do. Everybody was stressed out, and I got to where I just didn't really care. I didn't want anything to do with the holidays most of the time. And then I got married, and I married a 4, and Amy is Amy was like the opposite of me, and her family was like the opposite of my family.
Yeah.
And so she kind of warmed me up to the holidays again, and it was nice doing like family tradition stuff with her family.
Mm.
And then, you know, we started having kids, and once you have kids, like the holidays are just different, especially when they're little, because everything's new. And so, you know, you get to see it through their eyes, and it's fun to kind of establish our own little traditions and stuff. But I feel like everything's different since 2020.
Sure.
And it's not quite the same for a lot of different reasons. And so that part has been hard. And then I don't know what it is. I always feel like going in, you know, we get to September, October. I'm like, okay, this is the year where I'm going to like, you know, ease back on everything in December and really just take time to rest and slow things down and just enjoy stuff and, you know, play with the kids and, you know, and do all of the Christmas stuff we've always talked about doing. And then, you know, November hits and there's always something crazy going on. Like it's just, there's always stuff it feels like I have to do, and it makes it so hard to slow down.
Yeah.
And then I get stressed out because I have these expectations, or I feel like there are expectations that others have of me. And then if I'm not careful, I can get caught up in that and then kind of turn into a grouch. And then I am, you know, or a Grinch. And then I am,
you're stealing everybody's presents and running away to a mountain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit bittersweet. And it's the same thing, you know, afterwards. I don't like receiving gifts either, unless it's something that someone bought from my list, because I have so much anxiety around like my reaction in the moment, and making sure that my reaction is acceptable to the people who gave me the gift or the people who are around.
Yeah.
And, but
I hate not knowing people get me.
Lists are wonderful in that regard, because I can, you know, I still don't know what I'm going to get, but at least I know it's something that I'm going to enjoy and I can have a genuine reaction.
I've had people get me things that were like things on my list. And then that's an interesting reaction. You have to really mask really quickly, because you're like,
right.
Oh, it's kind of like the thing I really wanted, but isn't.
Right.
Thanks. And here's all the reasons why I picked this one over the one you got me, but it's fine, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, no, and it's like, man, we sound like such assholes. We're so ungrateful. But in the moment, I think it's more for me about the predictability of it and my own like expectations. And I was thinking about this too, about how you were talking about like the bittersweet side of the holidays, and how I think there's a lot that we go through at this point in our lives that people there's no way to prepare you for that. And I feel like that one of those things is maybe that if I had to pick something that was like my least favorite part of the holidays, it's the part of me that consistently every year mourns the fact that like my granny isn't here, and she's what made the holidays really special for me. Yeah. And I think about that. Like my parents did an amazing job when I was a kid making the holiday special, and like would go all out with like the whole Santa thing. And I remember waking up thinking I heard Santa on the roof, and then like going to see like the reindeer trails or whatever outside, and like we would scatter like this reindeer mix or whatever out in the yard. Do you ever do that?
No.
And you know, and the idea that you had to like put out cookies. I still remember putting out cookies and milk for Santa. They were always the same brand my dad loved. And and so I think that there's a lot of that's like when you get older, and like we're in this place now too, where maybe because we don't have kids, because I don't have kids, I feel more indifferent towards the holidays, because it's like it's not how I remember it, and it's always this kind of bland like thing that happens in a whirlwind, and then it's over, and then it's like, okay, well, man, I sure miss like the magic I used to feel from the holidays. And you realize that Also, too, you realize that the older you get, like the magic you felt was from people doing it, and now we're at that age where we're supposed to be the ones bringing the magic, which also like
Right.
in turn gives us that magic. But I ain't got nobody to give that magic to yet, so like it's just not as it's different, and I'm just like left in the middle in purgatory of the holidays, being like, I mean, I guess this is cool, but we're just kind of all sitting around doing the same thing we do every year. And and it really snuck up on me this year too. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm just now starting to get back to the place where, or mentally, I'm like, okay, we're in the holidays. We're finally in the holidays, but actually, it's going to be over in a few weeks.
Right.
So it's just not the same as it was when I was younger. And so I think a part of me mourns that process of it, and that kind of dampens the mood a little for me. Plus, my granny died in December. Like her anniversary of death was just like it's in a couple days. It's like 3 days from now. So it is what it is.
Yeah. I feel you. Amy's mom passed a few years ago, and she was definitely the one on that side of the family that brought the magic, and it's really hard. Yeah. To your point, one thing that would help is spending more time with us during the holidays, and then we can like share the magic with the kids.
It's true.
And that would help maybe a little bit with the holiday spirit.
I spend more time with you now than I ever have.
That's very true, but just me.
Just you. Yeah. It would be good for me to spend more time with the kids. It would be good for me in that way, like taking the medicine you don't want to take. Because like the thought of being around that many kids like stresses me out a lot. But I know that I want to, and I really want to do it more. But like when it comes down to like actually doing it, sometimes my brain goes, "Do we really want to today? Is this today the day that we're going to do this? Have we withheld enough energy and resources to handle 3 young boys yelling in our ears for 2 hours?" Sensory overload. And I maybe can blame that a little bit on the autism, but it's just sometimes I have to like work myself up to it mentally. But I always miss them and want to see them, and when I do see them, I'm always so happy I do. So it's more of a dreading thing than an actual not wanting to do it thing.
Glad to know how you really feel.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. It has nothing to do with you or your children.
I get it.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go to the next segment, Michelle says, "Hi, anyone want to be friends?" So I don't know if this is a real person, but if it's a real person, go be friends with Michelle.
Yeah, and Michelle, go join our community. That's what it's for.
There we go. All right. Next up is Would You Rather. I don't know if we're going to get through all these or not. Would you rather host holiday dinner or answer intrusive questions from relatives for 1 hour straight?
Oh, for sure. Answer intrusive questions for 1 hour straight.
That was my pick too.
Yeah, for sure. Because you said family members. And there's nothing I love more than wrecking my family members' thoughts of how they think of me. And so like I always answer them as truthfully as possible without any filter. And as you can imagine, I'm a delight around the holidays. Out of all the things I just said, and then that, no, for sure, that's an easy one. Next,
yeah, I agree. Okay, and also I like making holiday meals also super stresses me out. So
I don't make any meals. I can't do things in the kitchen. It's too overwhelming for me.
Yeah,
I just can't do it.
Okay. All right. Would you rather shop for gifts without a list or decorate the house with someone who has strong opinions?
I would definitely shop without a list.
Okay. Tell me more.
I hate being told what to do. And if somebody has a really strong opinion, then that automatically tells me they're not telling me what to do in a nice way. So I think I like shopping without lists. I like just like exploring. World's my oyster. I'm going into every store. I don't know what's going to be in there. Will I see something I like? Will I think of someone when I see it? Who knows? It's a mystery. It's a more of an adventure that way. Going and being in a room with somebody telling me where everything needs to be hung and where everything needs to go and like this is what's happening. No, that's my hell. That's my life. Buying a house is every room. It's just like, how are we going to do this? I don't know. No, thank you.
See, I think I am the opposite.
That makes sense.
And then it also depends. Like I like shopping for the kids without a list, I think.
Sure.
I'm also kind of buying stuff for my inner child.
Yeah.
But anyone else, especially Amy, like having to shop because I put so much pressure on trying to figure out, like, I don't know what she wants, but I know what she doesn't want. And it's like, and is this something that she would not want? And so yeah, I that's such a hard thing for me to do, and I feel like no matter what, I'm going to fail with whatever I pick. But on the decorating the house thing, it's like, if we're just decorating for the holidays and we're not, doing interior design that I have to live with for years, then I actually would probably rather prefer someone else make all of those decisions, because I don't want to have to make them. So it's just like, tell me what you want where, and I'll do it, and then I can be done with it. That's how I feel about that.
I agree with you, except for there's a certain way that, and again, maybe this is more of an autistic thing than a 5 thing, but I just have a certain way that I want the room to feel. I don't know how it needs to get that way, but I need to move things around and figure it out like a puzzle until it feels right. And we just started doing that, like, in our dining room, we had these like bookshelf things against the wall, and we decided Madison decided to move them to the corners of the room, completely changed the room. And I was like, this was it. This is what we were missing. The dining room didn't feel right, but now it does. And so, and most of the time I feel like she has that kind of good sensibilities about her, but like, I have these like traumatic memories, not traumatic. I'm being a dramatic, but I remember my mom, I actually just talked about this in the last episode, I think, how my mom would wake up in the middle of the night and like just rearrange the furniture randomly and stuff, and I'd have to help her rearrange it. And so, kind of making a little callback to that episode and that story, I very clearly remember, because it was when my dad worked night shift, and she would stay up all night anyway, and then we would also stay up because we were homeschooled. And so it'd be like 2 a.m. and my mom would be like knocking on the door, like, "Hey, can you come help me with something?" And I knew that meant that's not a something, that's a many somethings, and they're very heavy. And so I remember one time she moved the living room furniture into the den, and the den furniture into the living room, and I had to help her with that. Like, so that is what comes to mind, actually, when you said that scenario.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
And that to me is very intrusive in many ways, and like not comfortable at all, and I don't like it. But give me a list in the middle of a mall when I'm just like, I know that's what I'm there to do. Or not give me a list. Don't give me a list, but send me loose in the mall to be like, you have to get these many presents for this many people. That's fine with me.
Okay. All right. Would you rather spend Christmas morning with 0 alone time, or travel all day with unpredictable delays?
Oh, stay at home with 0 alone time. Self-preservation coming out for me in that one. If I have to be comfortable either way, I want to be in my home.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I hate travel. Like, it depends. There are rare occasions where it's like, I don't have to be back, or I don't have to be anywhere at any certain time. I'm traveling by myself, and it's like there's a delay. That just means I get to, chill and watch stuff on, my iPad for a while or something like that.
Yeah.
But when I actually need to be somewhere, and I hate the unpredictable delays part. And honestly, pretty much every Christmas morning these days is spent with 0 alone time, so I'm used to that.
So you're like, give me something else. I'll take whatever is not that.
Would you rather participate in caroling? So that's like going up to random people's houses and singing.
Oh yeah, I've done it
with a group.
Yep.
Or have to give a heartfelt group toast at Christmas dinner.
Ooh. Can I take THC for any of these activities?
No, you have to be sober.
Oh, I'll just do the toast. I'll get it over with. 20 seconds of a toast versus singing in front of strangers at their front door. For sure, I'll take the toast. Yeah. Now, if I could be high while doing it, that's a very different story. I would definitely sing in front of some strangers at their door if I'm just like there chilling,
Yeah, good answer. I think I'm the same.
Yeah. Me and you together caroling
Yes.
while drinking like a THC drink. Oh man, that'd be it. See, that's a great time. That just sounds like a great time. A great way to spend a evening, a Friday afternoon or evening. Yeah.
Yep. We should get your band together and just go caroling.
Just go caroling. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the Would You Rathers.
Cool.
Okay. Aether said, I agree. I would rather stay home. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Okay. Last couple things here. Where, I don't know, maybe we can kind of combine these last two, and we'll say, looking back over the year, 2025, where have we chosen growth over safety, and where did we default to comfort or withdrawal instead?
I think you should go first on this one. I need some time to think.
Well, I mean, we just did this whole episode on where I was very vulnerable. I will say that's definitely a highlight of growth for me, and just sort of being in that and talking through something I don't have an answer for yet. That's very personal. And if you haven't listened, go listen to Better Off Alone, because that was
it was a doozy.
It was a doozy. And
Josiah cried. It was a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think, where did I default to comfort or withdrawal instead? I don't know. That's been a hard one for me, because I feel like this one has been a huge growth year for me.
Yeah.
You know, getting laid off in February, launching all this stuff, going all in on Fully 5 and the podcast. And yeah, I would say maybe there's still stints of when I am feeling overwhelmed, you know, going back into unhelpful habits of like binging YouTube or something like that, rather than using the tools that I know will help me get out of that and do the things that I need to do, but choosing not to do that anyway. You know, it's a night and day difference between how it used to be, but there will still be short stints where I will get into that. And I kind of just have to let myself do it and move through it, and then and not shame myself, and then kind of come out on the other side. But I'd say, if there's anything that really sticks out, it's that. Still kind of working through that sort of thing. What about you?
Okay, so it's kind of hard. I feel like I need more time to think about this to really come up with a great answer. But the thing that comes to mind is, I feel like an area of growth for me this year is in my, hopefully there's been growth in my ability to feel content. I think is something that's been really hard for me, to just like be content with where I am in life, be content with my job, or be content with whatever the things are in my life. And I've always had this like strong desire for more in those areas, more of whatever the goal is that I'm trying to get to, or whatever. And like my need to need to try to rush that process, which we've talked about. I know that that's something that you relate to as well. And I think that is something where I find myself a lot more this year, not feeling as much anxiety under the surface all the time, because I can feel I found different ways and moments in which I can just, or where I can be like more present and more just kind of there and be content, which honestly has helped me with, you know, social connections, my relationships in life. Like I feel like I'm not as easily prone to defaulting to not being in the moment with my friends and having my mind be elsewhere, 5 other places probably. Now granted, like, you know, aids help with that. You know, I sell THC professionally and legally, I should also say. And so I, you know, getting to experiment a little bit more with how THC plays a role in my life versus how alcohol, the absence of alcohol in my life plays a part also. And I think that I've learned through using those kinds of means to like lower anxiety and help slow my mind down a lot, because my mind is always just going a million miles a second with like 5 different things in my head. And I feel like I've learned to I feel like more this year than not, I've learned that contentedness, that ability to kind of just relax into a moment has helped me experience connection with others a little bit more strongly and a little bit more naturally, I guess, instead of feeling forced as much. And I feel like conversations like this, I generally like to think that they're better. That I say more like, this particular conversation has kind of felt a little all over the place. So maybe this isn't the best conversation to say that in out loud, but I feel like even conversations when we sit down to do these past few conversations in the show, for the show, I feel like I felt more present there and felt like I could keep up with the conversation a little more. I didn't feel the need to like know where we were going in it, and stuff. It's helped with like my expectations and stuff like that. Where I have, what was it, retreated into comfort or security? You're muted.
To default to comfort or withdraw.
Default to comfort or withdraw. Well, I still very much fall into like that classic Enneagram like trope of avarice. I think that like I easily feel like, on the flip side of what I just said, I also can pretty easily still feel really drained emotionally and socially, and feel like I need like an extended amount of time to recharge and get out of it. And sometimes I don't get that, and then I feel resentful towards the world for not giving me that. But yeah, I still very much, I think that's kind of the flip side of the same the opposite side of the same coin in that way, where it's like in one sense I feel like I've really kind of leaned into connecting with people and being more in the moment and trying to slow my brain down a little bit and find ways of learning how to do that. But then on the flip side of it, I also sometimes feel more drained because of it. I don't know. It's a weird give and take, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. I've maybe because I'm a social 5, I experienced that a little bit less.
Yeah.
But there's still, it's weird. We talk about this in Fully 5. Actually, I talk about like the 4 energy rivers, and we tend to, because there's physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual or purpose, and we tend to focus on the mental and then try to like get all the other rivers flowing by using the mental river. And so,
yeah.
And I often forget that, an example of this is when we feel like emotionally drained. Like a couple of weeks ago, I scheduled all of these research calls, which was awesome, but it was like I did not think it through because I had like 18 calls in a week and a half, and like it was very draining. Like it was energizing in one sense, because I'm asking questions, I'm getting to know people, and like I'm learning a lot of stuff. Because I was interviewing 5s about dealing with feeling and like what that experience is like for other people, and what the struggles are, what the goals are, what has worked and what hasn't in dealing with that. But I was also just so drained at the end of it. And I realized that my first instinct was to withdraw and get alone time and like numb out. But I remembered like the energy rivers, and the thing that I realized was that the one that was running low was my emotional energy. It was my emotional energy that got drained. And the way to like the source of that river is expression and connection. And so isolation would have just made it worse. And that's how normally would have worked for me is I would isolate, and then I would not feel better, and then it would take me a long time to recover. And so instead what I did was I talked to Amy and basically was like, I'm feeling drained in this way. I'm realizing, and this was hard for me to do, was like, I'm realizing I need connection. Can you help me figure out how to get connection with the kids in this moment? What can we do for you and I to, connect and with the time and the resources that we have available at the moment. And and because of that, I was able to kind of fill that cup back up much more quickly and recover, within a day instead of a week or two. And so that's taken me a long time to learn how to do that. And it's still hard to catch that and not default to just like whatever my strategies for trying to recharge mentally are, and instead figure out, okay, where, like, what type of energy am I actually drained in, and then what are the sources of energy for that specific type of energy, and then finding out how to tap back into that specific source. So I kind of went on a tangent there, but that's what you were saying reminded me of.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So last segment here, thinking about what do we want to, like, looking back on 2025, what do we want to take into the next year, and what do we want to leave behind?
I would like for 2026 to be, I would like to see myself make larger strides towards like my creative goals, and how those goals would be a more part of my life. I feel like I made some good strides this year to make that happen, and I did a lot of things, but I would like to kind of take that and, like, hit the full throttle on that a little more in 2026. And I think the thing that I would like to leave in this year and not take with me is my ability to hesitate on taking steps, which has been a theme of this whole show. But like, now it's just kind of a point where it no longer benefits me, and I don't like it. It never benefited me, but I used to at least think it did. I used to pride myself in being so, like, cautious and reserved in certain ways. And I feel like that is a part of me I don't want to keep. I think I have to shed that part of me to be able to make the strides creatively that I want to in my life, and make my creative endeavors more a part of my life, and figure out how that can help pay the bills more so it can continue to be more a part of my life. But I've been taking myself seriously as a person and as an artist more lately that I've never been able to do. And so I finally feel like I'm kind of gaining aspects of a person that I always wished I would be my whole life. And I'm finally, like, very naturally kind of starting to gain those characteristics. And I would like to honor my younger self's wishes and become more a part of that, more that person, not less. So that's what I want to do the next year.
Yeah, I love that. I want to carry into next year just renewed energy. And a lot of that has come from, what I just talked about with the different types of energy and being more aware and intentional about that. But also, I have made huge strides in just my physical health. And that has been a big deal for me, because all the stuff that I've been trying to do, or, all the stuff I've been doing this year, and everything I'm trying to do is, like, really hard in so many different ways, on top of, the emotional turmoil of everything that has been going on this year as well, that we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah.
Normally when I'm faced with that kind of stuff, I always deprioritize relationships and my physical health. And those just get pushed down to the bottom. and so I can, divert resources to solving whatever problem I'm trying to solve or whatever I'm doing, and accomplishing whatever project I'm trying to tackle. And I was very intentional this year to not do that. And so what that has looked like for me is figuring out ways to make sure that I build into my weekly routine some sort of ritual that helps in both of those areas. And so it's, one is like you and I are doing our best to get together every Monday, regardless of whether we record. So you and I are hanging out more. I'm also, I do the cold plunging thing with Ice Buddies on Saturday mornings. And that helps, both of those things just help me feel more connected to my friendships, and which has been, it's been huge for me. And then the other thing is going to the gym 3 times a week, and, and building in things into my week that help me, get better sleep, or, make better choices with the food that I'm eating and things like that. And it's made a huge difference for me. Like my energy baseline has been steadily increasing for the last 6 months, which, I've never been in a period of time where it's been that way for that long. And I would be able to focus on my health for a little bit, a couple of months maybe, and then I would get pulled off into something else, and then I would just crash, and I just never seemed to gain momentum. But that's probably the thing that I'm most excited to carry into the next year, is just continuing that trend, and reconnecting, like making sure that I'm continuing to be intentional about connecting with my body and changing that relationship to where I'm not just living in my head, but I'm, more holistically present, and things like that. Yeah. And exercising has been a key part of that this year for me. So that's what I'm carrying into next year. What I'm leaving behind, I would say my own stories and expectations on how I think things should be. I started this year with all kinds of plans and expectations. And like, this was the year we were going to buy a house, and this was the year we were going to, have a big celebration for Amy's 40th. And we're going to take 2 beach vacations this year because, I want to spend more time with the kids, and it has to look like this. And of course, none of those things happened. Yeah. Because I got laid off, and then like the whole trajectory changed. And there was definitely a process of me working through those stories and trying to figure out how to let a lot of that stuff go and replace it with, other ways that are more manageable or doable right now with our resources to still have, connection and make progress towards things. But it's been an ongoing process for me to try to let a lot of that stuff go, because it can be easy for me to kind of beat myself up for not being where I wanted to be in a certain time frame. Yeah. But that 99% of that is like outside of my control, Yeah. So that's what I'm leaving behind.
Those are good ones.
All right. Well, that's it. We got through everything right at the hour.
All right. Right at the hour. Well, I guess this will be the last time we see each other collectively in this show. In this year. Yeah. So hope everybody has great holidays. We wish you well in these holiday season, and hopefully not too many moments of discomfort and cringiness for you as a 5. And I guess we'll see you in 2026.
Yep. And I am going to continue to do the newsletter and during this time too. So if you do want to stay connected with that touch point, make sure that you're on the list. You can go to enneagram5.com/newsletter. and sign up. I'm sure we'll have some good holiday themed ones coming up too. So that's all I got to say. Thanks,
and I'll try to
everybody.
say hello in the community.
There you go. All right. See you guys.
See ya.